Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for Ask the Expert North Texas. I'm Kristen Diaz.
I'm David Rankin. More schools are opening their doors on Wednesday. There are 22 districts that are welcoming the kids back for another school year. One of those is one of the biggest districts in the area. That's the Arlington ISD. On today's Ask the Expert, we're joined by Dr. Stephen Wurtz. He's the interim superintendent at the Arlington ISD, and he is in the KRLD Zoom room. Dr. Wurtz, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for having me.
What is it about the first day of school? It kind of reminds me of opening day in baseball. It's a celebration of everything. We kind of make a big deal out of it. And then you get about to the business of learning.
Yeah, the first day of school is always really exciting. It's one of my favorite days of the year. We have over 55,000 students that join us on the first day, coming to school excited about what the year has ahead of them. And so the teachers spend all summer preparing for their return, not only getting lesson plans, but preparing the environment, anticipating their needs. And so we all open our doors really excited to have them, and we look forward to serving them and their families as the year comes.
What is a bit of the highlight reel that you're anticipating for your school district this year?
Well, this year we have actually two brand new schools that are opening. We opened one in January. We have Berry and Thornton Elementary schools that are opening this year. They were originally built back in the 1950s, and their age was showing. So now we have new students that are going to be coming to these brand new schools. They're modernized facilities, which should be really exciting. They're brand new in the area of a town and a part of town that has had a building that's, like I said, been around since the 50s. So it's really, really exciting.
During the summer, what goes into preparing the schools for the students when they come back? How long does it take to get the buildings ready?
Well, it takes all summer long. In fact, usually we have multiple construction projects going on at the same time, over 100. And so we have a really great crew of staff that are not only cleaning buildings, but also working on any of the maintenance issues that we might have, so they're ready to go when kids come. And then on the instructional side, we have teachers and principals and staff that are eagerly thinking about which students are coming to their classrooms, what their needs may be, and begin their process of designing lessons and readying for them. So it's a multifaceted kind of preparation that takes place, and it does take most of the summer.
As much as there is excitement and anticipation, there can also be, I can only imagine, a little bit of anxiety and some nerves. The industry as a whole, if you'd like to see it that way, when it comes to education, has had a lot of challenges when it comes to security of campuses, when it comes to even just work environment. We forget it is a workplace sometimes, not just a learning place, but for all of the administrators and the educators. At being at the top of the helm there, how important is it for you to make sure that people are happy when they're coming to work, that they're taken care of alongside the kids as well?
That's actually a really important thing for me personally. I want people to be seen and understood first as individuals, and then as the professionals and the contribution they're making to the organization as a whole, because as you said, all of us are people first. Our number one goal in Arlington is to make sure that people not only feel happy coming to work, but that they also are in an environment that is safe. As you know, recently House Bill 3 was passed by the legislature, and we are working to be in compliance with that by September 1st, which is the requirement to have the armed security officer in place at each of our learning facilities. And, we have over 4,000 teachers across the district, and that's really only half of our employees. While we have some vacancies still that we have to fill, we're really committed to making sure our classes are covered and that teachers have the support and the supplies and resources they need to be successful. So it's important on both sides. A happy teacher gives you a happy student.
You mentioned the fact that there are teacher shortages. It's a problem for school districts all over the state. And the governor has also said he's going to call a special session in the fall to deal with teacher pay raises and things like that, something that they couldn't get done during the regular session. How important is that session going to be for educators?
It's anything that we can do to help us find more teachers that are highly qualified to work with our students is really important. Right now, we currently, like I said, have 4,000 teachers with about 200 vacancies, but we are committed to make sure that we have someone in every classroom on the first day of school. Other positions that continue to be a challenge are like bus drivers and custodians, teachers assistants. I think when it comes to a special session, one of the biggest challenges I think public education is facing right now is the possibility of education savings accounts, or otherwise known as vouchers. that really funnels money away from public education, which is really opposite of what we need. So I'm hoping that our legislators will prioritize public schools and take that into consideration as they're making their votes.
For, the Arlington ISD, pardon me, what do new families that are, have just moved here to North Texas, what do they need to know about what's so special about Arlington in particular?
Well, one thing is we are one of very few districts that offer universal pre-K. So all students, regardless of whether they qualify or not, are able to come to our 4-year-old pre-K program, which is a full day program free of charge. We have one of the first curriculum across the country that integrates STEM into our pre-K curriculum. And this year we're already over projection with over 4,200 little learners already ready to join school. So if you're moving into the community and you have a young learner, know that pre-K is here for you. We also are opening 2 more new P-Tech high schools. Those are early college high schools that are pathways in technology. So we have 4 now in our system. You can actually earn over 60 free college credits right here in our district. Over 90% of our students that participate in early college high school graduate with not only their high school diploma, but also with an associate's degree. And then, of course, we have other things besides our specialized programs that you could choose to apply to participate in. All of our spaces have STEM labs and large media centers. So there is a plethora of opportunities here in Arlington that we want to make sure our families are aware of and take advantage of.
Let's talk about changes in education over, say, the last 10 years. How has school changed?
It's changed quite a bit in some ways. So in terms of education, the actual learning environment in the classroom, there's lots of the good learning and teaching learning that we've always had is still there in place. The way that we are rated has changed. As you know, the state's system, the A through F system is being refreshed. If you were to look at our results, you can see that we're actually making progress and growing, but that's not necessarily implicated in the way that the scores are coming out in terms of A through F. So the way I kind of describe it to our community is, it's all about the way the recipe is handled. You all get ingredients. And it's the way you use those ingredients. You either can have a multi-tier cake or you can have a cupcake. And right now, our ingredients are the same. The way the state is measuring them, meaning the recipe has changed. And so while we're actually making improvement, the results are altered a little bit. I think that's one thing that's discouraging for districts all across the entire state that we're also working through here in Arlington. But I think the important thing for families to remember is the high quality teaching and learning experience that they should expect for their kids, and the safe environment that they should expect is still very sound and in place here in Arlington.
I feel like the conversation for Arlington is usually about the play side versus just the live and play is a great opportunity for any North Texan. I mean, you guys have so much in your community. Do you think you guys get a little bit overlooked as a place to actually live in versus just coming to visit?
Gosh, that you're right. There are so many wonderful opportunities here in Arlington. It's the hub of so many things that families like to engage in, especially in the athletics arena with the Dallas Cowboys and the Texas Rangers just right at our back door. I think Arlington is not only an awesome place to live and be entertained, but the school system is one of the best. So I don't know that if it's overlooked, but it's definitely a diamond that sits right here in the Metroplex that we would invite people to come in and see.
Do you get the parents interaction that you're used to in school districts where people would be involved in parent-teacher organizations and PTAs and things like that? Does that still exist?
Yeah, we have a really strong PTA here in Arlington ISD, and we have a whole department that's focused on parental involvement and community engagement. And we are really blessed in Arlington to have a community that really wraps themselves around the school system to be of support. Parents that are highly engaged in all levels, not only in academics, but in sports and even creating the nice environment that our kids come to school at. So we're not really at a shortage here in Arlington when it comes to support, which I'm really grateful for. But as always, there's always room for more people. So anybody that wants to volunteer or anybody that would like to get involved, our doors are always open.
First day of school in Arlington, 21 other districts as well. What can parents expect on the first day of school, especially when they're going to new schools?
They can expect us to welcome them with open arms, to bring them into our schools, to engage in not only learning, but socializing them with their friends. We want to make sure that parents have all the information they need in terms of a successful transition to school, how they can bring their students to school, where they pick them up, and also have an opportunity to start to build that relationship with their teacher, who they'll have their primary contact with all year long. So we're ready to go. And I actually had the opportunity to visit classrooms last week and even this weekend, and teachers are eagerly setting their classroom environments up, and we're ready to receive all of our kids.
Dr. Stephen Wurtz, the interim superintendent at the Arlington ISD. Dr. Wurtz, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.